Hello, Brick Sculptors, and welcome back to Brick Sculpt. This is Chris, and today we're going to talk about road plates. This is the newest LEGO road system. This came out in 2021, and it is a modular road system that has replaced all other road plate systems. And in doing videos on this, I have learned that there's some animosity about this set. A lot of people are not fans of this new system, so I wanted to talk about it because this is the system I'm using in my new LEGO city. In the past, LEGO has always used road plates, similar to this. This is what I've used in every city that I've ever created, except for maybe when I was really young, before using the current system in my new LEGO city. Now, this is not the oldest road plate on the market. It is also not the newest road plate in the market. There are other variations of this, but they're all fairly similar. Now, these are great, and honestly, I'm kind of bummed that they don't make these anymore. Not necessarily for myself, but for kids and people who are really playing with this stuff a lot. These are so hard to beat. You can set up a city really easily with road plates and have a lot of fun playing with it, driving the streets, etc., with very little effort. And this comes in straight, intersection, T, and even curve. So you can pick a really cool layout and have a lot of fun building a city around this. Now, one of the biggest issues I always had with these road plates was they only come in 32 by 32 size. So it wasn't uncommon for me to cut them in half. And I know it's illegal and frowned upon by a lot of people, but you almost have to when using the system. If you're trying to fit a certain city layout, you're going to need half plates. So, yeah, I did it. Not proud of it, but it had to be done. Now, I should say that you don't have to stick to these plates just how they are. If you are trying to use these as a little bit more serious of a mock builder, you can definitely dress them up a bit. Here I've just built up the sides to give myself a nice little sidewalk and curb. You have to be kind of careful though. If you go too high, the road looks really sunken down in. For example, if you were to use a Mills plate, where you have 4 plates high on each side at a minimum, it's not going to look very good. But this looks okay, although you are still stuck to that standard size of road. And that's one of the biggest problems with these, is you can change everything around it, but the road is the road. You can't change the size, the shapes, the colors, the width, anything. You're kind of stuck to this. And especially the width, with more modern vehicles and LEGO getting wider and wider, these 8 wide road lanes are really not big enough. I do think that the newer version of this is a little bit wider, but again, you're stuck to whatever width you get with the road plate. Now, going back to the current road system here, when you get this, it comes out of the box looking kind of like this. You get a whole pile of pieces, and it's very nondescript, and it's very modular. You kind of build it yourself. And the idea is you take one of these plates. It comes with just some normal gray tile that'll fill in the gaps, but it will also come with some tiles that have lines on them. And these are going to give you the detailing you need to build the road system you want. Now, I have a few suspicions as to why this gets so much hate, and I can tell you at first I was really turned off by these pieces until I started actually using them, and I've gained a much more of an appreciation for them. And I think the reason most people don't like them is the look of that cross in the road. And I'll admit, that is kind of an ugly pattern. But we have to kind of think about what these were designed for. This was designed by LEGO to be played with by all different types of people. These have to be kid-friendly. They have to be buildable for adults and usable for adults, and able to really fill every need as it is their only road plate. And essentially what LEGO has done here is made one gigantic 16 by 16 piece of tile and taken out the sections that are needed to customize it. The edge sections are there so that you can connect them together. And they even give you some transition pieces, so if you are using it more as a playset, your vehicles can drive straight from your flat surface onto the roads. So I give them credit for that. Given what they had to work with and what they had to make, this is a pretty impressive system. Now, I think the reason most people don't like it is they compare it to a brick-built road. Which, let's be honest, the brick-built road is kind of the gold standard of Lego roads. It's incredibly detailed. It's incredibly customizable. You can make really whatever pattern and colors you wish. You'll notice I made these ones yellow. That's one of the big complaints about these if you live in the US. Their center stripes are all white, which is European. In the US, we use yellow. By the way, Daryl at Bevan's Bricks does sell these with a yellow stripe. So if you're curious about that, I'll link that in the description. But anyway, super customizable. You can make any width, any size, any shape. As long as you're creative and talented enough to figure it out, you can really do anything with a brick-built road. And yes, I do know this is illegal because of the logo on the top of the studs. I could make it legal, but I really don't care. I just did this for the video. That's another video we can talk about another time. Anyway, so comparing to that, yes, this is quite ugly, but it does have some advantages, and we should mention that we can also dress this up. Now, if you're going to take this road and try to stick it straight into a city, and just stick it down on a base plate, yeah, it looks pretty terrible. I don't know about where you guys live, but where I am, we don't have roads that just stick up above the ground that high with nothing built up around them. So for that reason, it's not the greatest system. But once you start to add detail, at a bare minimum, just build up the sides. Now, it's looking pretty good. You know, this is starting to look kind of more like a traditional road plate. Yes, it did take more pieces because I had to build the sides up, but this is definitely something you can customize and really make yours to fit whatever you need it to fit. Now, I think that the only way to really use this system and make it look as good as you possibly can is to put it into a mill system. And this is the road that I'm currently using for the majority of my city. Now, you'll notice a few things. This is wider. There's a couple of ways you can widen this road. Number one, it's basically tile. So you could just put more tiles along the side. If you want to customize lines and stripes like this is actually a hybrid, a combination of brick built and the road plate system. I've got these brick tiles on the edge here. I'll see if I can pull this out to widen the road. And just built right up to it with a snot fashion. And I think these look pretty good. Again, I don't love the lines here, but in order to be able to connect it where you need to connect it and draw the lines wherever you need them, it's really not a bad system. These are kind of necessary. And given what Lego has to do to be able to make this something they can market and sell, they kind of had to do that. So given what they had to work with, I think this was really the best possible solution. If you were to try to sell this, it'd basically be a bag of gray bricks and say, here, have fun, make whatever you want, which would be awesome because these gray bricks are stupid expensive. Which brings me to my last point. Building with this system saves time. It's much faster to lay these than build all these brick-built roads, but this is a hobby. It's for fun. I don't consider it wasted time. I'm not going to use that as an excuse. But the big one is money. Yes, this is better looking. Yes, it's more customizable, but it's quite expensive. I mean, to build these really adds up. I mean, it takes a lot of parts and a lot of thinking through how you're going to lay everything out to get it just right. In the future, someday, I would love to have full brick-built roads in my city, but it's just not feasible. And to me, this financially and economically makes a lot more sense. Now, I still want to have the customizable features. So that's why in my city, I do have this hybrid technique. And I'll show you here. I did a whole row of parking spots that I basically just built in the same fashion as this, just out of bricks. So I can still use the brick design and just mix it right with the new road plates. Well, I hope that cleared some things up for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you still hate this system, that's okay. Let me know below. If maybe I've made it a little more favorable and explain a little better, let me know below as well. Maybe we could change a few minds. Well, that's all I got for this one. I hope you guys like this video. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. We're going to do more just like this in the future, and we will see you next time.